So we've been doing outreach a lot at the harbor because they're doing a sweep or beautification project, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
They're doing
talking
that.
about all the cars that's on the
Yeah,
side of
so
the
they're
road.
actually, the LNR is actually coming down tomorrow to do the sweep. So we got the call last week, and so we've been going down there. And we went down, talked story with them, like, hey, do you need services? Everybody wants to go to housing.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So does everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work like this. You don't get to go from the harbor straight to housing.
Yeah.
I wish we could, but we can't.
Yeah. And
You
there's
know
a
what I mean?
process
There's a
to
process. But I think that the homeless community, they share like all kinds of information. So one thing I heard was like, oh, I don't want to go there because of this. I don't want to go there because of that. Well, you've never been there. How do you know?
Yeah.
You can't narrate your experience on based upon somebody else.
it. Everybody experiences things differently.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're saying you don't want to do this, but that's not how it works, unfortunately.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? This is Curtis Pooley here, bringing you your Real Talk Maui podcast. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm here with my cousin, Bri.
What's up, everybody? And today's guest, very fortunate to have her on. She's involved in a lot of outreach programs, to do in Maui. Just ranging from ranging from mental health to substance abuse. So yeah, without further ado, I'd like to introduce EJ Stevens.
Yes,
How are you?
thank you
I'm
for coming
good.
on.
Thank you for having me.
Sit over. Sorry.
All good.
Yeah, thank you for being on.
Thank you.
Yeah, kind of tell us what. Yeah, I know he gave you like a little short, brief introduction, but it's kind of what you do, like for your job. And
I work at Maui Recovery Center also. We do substance abuse treatment. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
How long you was over there?
I started there last year. I did my internship and then I got hired on full time.
Okay, so I know one of your other outreach programs that you do is dealing with substance abuse. So how take us through what you guys do with that, like everything. The
Okay,
whole spiel.
so I work at Maui Recovery. We are, we follow what's called a Florida model. It's not really done here, so that just means that your treatment and your housing is done separately. So we have like sober living houses like attached to our program, and we have house managers who monitor the houses 24/7, and they transport the clients to and from the center every day. I started doing my internship there last year. I'm like, oh hey, like I want to work here.
Yeah.
I'm so used to doing, like for example, I just got a client into Habilita on Oahu. Took like 2 months. I had to do physicals. I had to do mental health assessments. I had to do like all kinds of crap they needed, and then they finally took him. The thing I loved the most that I wanted to work there was it wasn't nothing. We'll bring you in and we'll work on all the rest of the crap later. Whatever you need, we'll connect you. Whatever it is. After.
That's solid. That's
Yeah.
solid.
like whatever state you're in, just come and we'll help you.
Yeah,
We'll go
so
from
if you
there.
come in, I mean, unfortunately, we have so many people using fentanyl, and I actually tell people it's better that you're smoking meth because you're not gonna die. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you're being real. You're being real with
Right.
them.
We have even if you're coming in, we'll get you connected. If you need to go detox medication, whatever it is, we'll get you connected so you can come in. Once you're in there, we connect you to like whatever the need is. We do a needs assessment. You need mental health, we got you. PCP, like a long-term doctor, medical, physical health issues, we'll connect you to that. All of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Every angle
Yeah.
you guys can give them,
Yeah.
you're gonna make sure that they're able to get help.
And we're private, so we're not like publicly funded. So we don't have to like. It's literally a conversation with the owner. Yeah. Like, hey, can we do this? Either it's a yes or a no, and he's willing to like, okay. And I'm a problem solver. That should be like my title for everything. Like I always like, okay, if we cannot do this, what do I need? Instead of like saying, okay, accepting like, no, we cannot do this. Okay, my question is, what do I need to do to get this done?
Yeah.
So how can we get this done? And then working on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right on. Yeah, that's good to know that we got people doing that, like, cause that's stuff that we were always talking about. I wonder if people actually out there like trying to help people out, or is it just like whatever, just turn the blind eye.
No, we answer the phones on the weekends. If you call us, it rings to our cell phone, so we can answer whether or not we're in office. We do like weekend admissions. If you call us and we have a bed open, like we'll coordinate that.
So after this, I'll get the information and we'll have it in the description. So anybody watching right now that need any of that she like suicide awareness
or know somebody,
abuse, know somebody, homeless, even if it's not homeless, just hit it up.
We do everybody.
Everybody.
Like, friends, family, whatever it is.
I love that you said that it was like there's no bars. Like when you come in, like we'll take you as is, and I love that because some guys are just like that's all they get. You know what I mean? They're just like, right, I'm over this. I like change. And then boom. Just for kind of like catch everybody up on about who you are and what you bring. And all that. So from what I know, you grew up Lahaina. That was where you born and raised.
Yeah, so I was actually born in the Big Island. My mom moved here when I was like 13 or 14.
Yeah.
We moved to Lahaina, and we grew up homeless. When we first got here, we were homeless. My mom ended up getting us a house. We grew up in Mahalo. Got involved in all kinds of shit, drugs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and out there, was it kind of like... Was it the drug scene, was it kind of crazy? Like, was it like back when you was growing up, was it just easy to get, or like how was it?
Back in 2000, 2001, it was happening.
Yeah.
Drugs was like really easily accessible. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was the good stuff too back then. Nowadays, I couldn't imagine getting high because I don't even know if we would get high off the stuff nowadays.
Bunking them.
No, for real. I ended up getting locked up when I was like, I went to drug court when I was like 18, and I got locked up when I was 20. After that, I did most of my time up in the mainland. After that, I saw, like, I didn't want to be 40. Like, that was like the target age. I didn't want to be 40, like going in and out of prison. So when I came out when I was 26, and I was like, I'm not doing drugs anymore.
Yeah.
So I haven't touched it since then.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get into a field where, like, my past didn't count against me. So I, started going to school for, like, social services, substance abuse, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool that you went through that in the beginning of your life, but kind of used it as a positive as to what you do now, with outreach and kind of helping people that was in your situation before. That's kind of that's kind of cool that you kind of flipped that, because not a lot of people, that goes down that path end up turning that direction and going kind of in that positive way. So, props to you for, changing your life, and
And how like, what was I gonna say? Like, when with all the outreach programs that you do, take us through like on daily, like what you who you help, like what kind of people you helping, and there's some inspirational stories you hear from just going through it.
So technically, I do homeless outreach, but like with like the Lahaina fires and everything that happened, like everybody's homeless at this point. It's hard. I don't differentiate between who's homeless and who's not. Like, I help everybody. I get calls from friends who are housed. I get calls from people. I get tagged on Facebook for anybody who reaches out for services. What I do is I do the connection to behavioral health services. So if you are out on the streets or in agencies or wherever you are, if I get a call, I'll come and I'll connect you to long-term services.
Okay.
So if you have like any type of behavioral health going on, and it ranges from someone who's running on the street naked, screaming their heads off, to someone who just is like depressed a couple days a week.
Yeah.
So I do the connection to long-term services. So you'll always have a point of contact, like if you're struggling at a future date. I also run, it's called a Safe Haven. It's a program in Wailuku. It's like a crisis shelter. So we have like 6 beds for people who are homeless or at risk, who are not connected to like any type of services. So we have a safe space for them to stay at while we get them connected. It's like a 3-month program. There's no payment for it. It's free. And during those 3 months, we do the interim case management. So we connect you to like whatever the need is. We do like a needs assessment, and we connect you whatever it is you need. Yeah.
Do you feel like being that you were homeless and you're dealing with homeless, you feel like that that kind of, since you went through that, now you're working with them, you kind of build that better connection because you went through kind of what they're going through now? Like would you say like that kind of,
Yeah, at
build that connection?
time, I didn't have a choice. I was a minor, so my mom, we were homeless. I was homeless with my mom and my family. But my mom got us out of that situation like as soon as she could. Yeah, so she made those changes. She made those moves so we didn't stay in that situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like not everybody has that, like the family to help them like move along. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so then going back to like the mental health side, like how is it? That kind of side of Maui. I feel like that kind of goes under the radar.
Yeah.
The mental health of Maui. Not only homeless, but just like, Maui in general.
Yeah.
Mental health.
It's something not talked about a lot, or not like so freely, and everybody gonna give the dumbed down version of it. Just speaking, like you work in that field. Like what is what are you saying? Like what is about it?
What is the cases you deal with the most, like whether it be domestics or just kind of like child abuse, or what would you say is like the...
So I don't deal with children. I don't like working with families just because like if then I have to call like CPS because the parents are acting up, and that's horrible. I only work with adults. There's a severe lack of services for everybody. So we don't have providers. We don't have like all the people that we set people up with is via telehealth because they're reaching out to Oahu because they're the only ones who can help. Like providers are overwhelmed, case managers are overwhelmed. Our case managers have like really high caseloads, and a lot of them are severe mental health. It's hard to help them because there's no resources to help them. Trying to get somebody in to be seen, you're looking at a couple weeks, between the incident and whenever we can make the appointment. Our Molokini ward, you have to meet criteria to go inside there. Not everybody meets criteria, and it's super unfortunate because like I could call and somebody is like literally screaming whatever it is the situation is. I could call, and by the time the cops get there, if they are not like agitated or they're not a risk to themselves or others, they can't do anything. And so like everybody's hands is tied. Even if you go to the emergency room, if you're not trying to hurt yourself or hurt somebody else, they can't do anything. You don't meet the criteria.
So just lack of resources or people as resources, to deal with those cases. And So with that being said, it must be a lot of cases that go
cold, kind of.
Kind of like unhelped. And then speaking of that, like, and homeless tying into that, is a lot of the homeless, like, would you say has mental health problems on Maui?
There's people who don't normally have mental health issues. I've seen a lot more psychosis. So people who are using drugs. I mean, drugs and mental health go hand in hand. But there's a lot more psychosis from drug use recently than before.
Okay.
So people who are like, not everybody is out there using safely, you know what I mean? They're getting high, and then next thing you know, they're going into psychosis, and whatever it is cut into the drugs is like activating that.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
And what is there? I mean, I know you're talking about lack of resources on Maui. Is there anything like starting up, kind of, that you know of that's like starting to get you guys into that right path, or is it still kind of the same where somebody act up, and unless they still going crazy or still doing what they're doing, they either can get brushed off the shoulder or nothing going to help them till like 2 weeks later, right?
Well, one of the things that they're really starting to push more here on Maui, it happens on Oahu and I think on the Big Island a lot more. It's called an ACT, it's an MH10. So that is like for a case management agency. So if you have a client who's non-med compliant and they have multiple hospital admissions and you just have a hard time stabilizing them, you would have to, it's a court order. So you file this court order, and the court order is your provider, the doctor, and the client. And so it allows you to call like MPD if they're not taking their medication. So they have to comply with their treatment. You write up a treatment plan, they have to comply with their treatment plan. So if they're not taking their medications and that's a part of their treatment plan, then it allows MPD to come pick them up and take them to the emergency room and give them their medications like against their will.
Okay.
That is,
That's a step forward, I guess. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, step in the right direction. For sure.
That's good.
Yeah, because like we said, I feel like mental health. Yeah, that just goes untalked about over here in Maui, especially.
Way too much. You know, it's good to bring it up because you don't even know. Like somebody, your neighbor could be somebody that, and they don't even know they're suffering from it. You know, and just talking about it, it's always gonna help no matter what. It's always gonna be a positive, I feel. Yeah. But no, so with any of your outreach programs, or the ones that you're involved with, you know, was some of them helping out with Lahaina too, like often, or?
So
because I know it's like a crazy case, you know what I mean? People losing family members and, you know, houses and all that. So it's definitely not the best mental stability out there. No disrespect to anybody out there.
So we got calls to respond to Lahaina when everything happened. I had to step outside of that because my parents passed away in the Lahaina fires. My mom was confirmed, and my dad is one of the two people still on the missing list. So I kind of had to like step outside. I couldn't really respond.
Sorry about that first.
Sorry about that.
Thank you. I couldn't really respond to like going down there and providing services and being involved in that in the beginning. We just had the 1 year anniversary, and they were doing a lot of events for the families and for the people, and I still couldn't do it. Like we went down to the memorial they had at the cross where they have all the crosses up.
By the bridge,
Yeah. So we went down there. That was really awesome. They did like a teardrop that I'm sorry, I don't even remember what his name is, but they have that man who made it. He volunteers to take care of all of the crosses.
Yeah, I saw that.
So he created that teardrop. That was like super awesome.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been super chicken skin.
Out in
Lahaina.
For
the 1 year,
Right? Oh, good though.
But yeah, so like after the Lahaina fire, so you work with that place, that kind of homeless shelter place across the city.
Is it Tent City? Tent City.
You kind of work. Your programs kind of work in there, or
we respond when there are calls. So it's called Pu'uhonua.
Yeah,
Pu'uhonua.
Yeah, Pu'uhonua o Nene.
I never like say whatever it's wrong.
That's the name.
Pu'uhonua.
Yeah.
So we were actually involved in the beginning. We got a call from Dara, who's a Project Vision executive director. So we got a call in the beginning because they were starting it up. So we were actually there when they opened. We were there to do like connection to mental health. They didn't really have a lot at the time.
Yeah.
I'm finding more people are wanting mental health, once they kind of stabilized. I mean, they're still unstable, but like once they had a little bit of time and space to like think about it, you know what I mean? Because when you're in survival mode, you don't really like think about your mental health. You don't think like, oh, I need help. This is what's happening. You're just kind of trying to find like meet your basic needs, housing, food, income, all those kinds of things. So we are actually they're doing a resource fair next week, Tuesday, the 27th. And so we're actually going to be involved down there.
Oh, nice.
Providing
August 27th,
services.
yeah. Where at, you said?
At Pu'uhonua.
Pu'uhonua, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
The 27th, August 27th.
Part of what I do is I do the community events. So if any agencies or anyone is putting on some type of event, then we respond and we go down. We'll set up a table if they want us there. Provide resources, provide services, talk story with people. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Especially a lot of people are probably stoked when you guys come around. So
I hope so.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. So speaking like going back to the homeless shelters, like on Maui, you deal with the homeless shelters there, so for sure.
We work with I actually worked at the shelter for like 7 years.
So the Maui homeless shelters, do you have to be drug free to be in those homeless shelters, or?
No, so they changed the rules a couple years ago. like 2019, maybe 2020, and they became low barrier. So for like to get into the shelters, you don't have to be drug free, you don't have to be any of that, but you just kind of have possession of drugs or alcohol on property.
On the
And your
premises,
behavior has to be acceptable. So if you're gonna go out and get high all day, then when you come back to the property, even at Safe Haven, it's the same way. You come back to the property, you need to be able to live in community living.
Okay.
And be respectful of
Okay.
whoever you're living with. Yeah.
So would you say like a lot of them that choose to be homeless, they just know like come home and have to be like, oh, I cannot take my stuff over there, or I cannot be doing stuff on premises, I gotta go away. So they just kind of like, you know, live separately or homeless, so they can kind of do their own thing.
I think that is part of the issue. I think the other part of the issue is like, so we've been doing outreach a lot at the harbor because they're doing a sweep or beautification project, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
They're doing
talking
that.
about all the cars that's on the
Yeah,
side of
so
the
they're
road.
actually, the LNR is actually coming down tomorrow to do the sweep. So we got the call last week, and so we've been going down there. And we went down, talked story with them, like, hey, do you need services? Everybody wants to go to housing.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So does everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work like this. You don't get to go from the harbor straight to housing.
Yeah.
I wish we could, but we can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a
to it.
process. But I think that the homeless community, they share like all kinds of information. So one thing I heard was like, oh, I don't want to go there because of this. I don't want to go there because of that. Well, you've never been there. How do you know? You can't narrate your experience on based upon somebody else.
Everybody experiences things differently.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're saying you don't want to do this, but that's not how it works, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, that's still, at least that's good, because, you know, every time I drive past, even when I come over here for dinner pod, you know, and I drive past, you know, it is one shitty sight for seeing everybody living like that. But yeah, I always wondered if there was ever like somebody, I guess you guys go down there and kind of give them one last chance of hope. I feel like, hey, you know, we can get you guys connected. You can start doing this, maybe start turning your life around, you know, that whole spiel kind of. And I'm hoping that everybody down there just kind of like takes it in, like, wow, yeah, fuck it, these guys trying for help us, and we're over here just get shoots and then just, you know, smoke again or do whatever they're doing, you know, down there.
The thing about it is you can do outreach as many times as you want.
Yeah.
It's when they're ready.
Yeah.
I had a guy who I met down there during outreach one day, and I started working with him in like August of like 2023. It wasn't until like February or March of 2024 that he decided to come into treatment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's up to you guys for give the
ready.
Yeah, you know, just keep pushing. You know, not pushing, but just being around, being, you know, in the presence, right? Because you never know when one day they're gonna look up and be like, "Bro, I was hoping for see you today." So that's good.
That reminds me of Uncle Kyalka, right? How he said like when your father told him he told him, but he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for going.
Yeah.
Wasn't ready for going.
Give me daddy. Nah, I'm not going.
Shout out Uncle Kyalka.
Yeah. Shout out Uncle.
Yeah.
I know. Still never get that hot dog from Cole's store, but
I know, man. That clip went viral, man. Should
at least got one hot dog from that. Yeah. But no, good though. I mean, I'm happy that everything that you're doing and helping out.
Yeah, so speaking of that, so they're going to be doing a sweep over there. Were you part of, or did you have to do the same thing when they had the one in Kanaha, when they're all lined up on the side of the road right before you get into, you know.
You remember, it was like,
do.
The same thing pretty much. Down there. So literally just like same thing going on like now at the harbor kind of.
Yeah, so we respond to whatever sweeps or beautification projects they have before. So that was one of the questions I got asked today when we went down there. Like, are you going to be here for during the sweep? And I'm like, no. And they're like, why? I was like, well, it's not safe for us to be here because then they have police presence, they have sheriff presence, they have and people get agitated. So we go down before to provide services to them. We actually went down, the last one at the harbor when they moved them out of the harbor. But I responded because I got a call to go down there.
Yeah.
And we had placement we was able to place one guy at Pu'uhonua.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we go down there, talking story with them, see like if they want to go, if they're interested in going somewhere, and if they're not, there's not much we can do.
Yeah, because I mean, I see Pu'uhonua from when it was we do the generators or whatever. We fill up the generators.
Oh, nice.
So Yeah, we seen them from when they had like the first like maybe 5 tents to now they get like they're loaded in there. But also, it's not that bad. Like I mean, for like being tents, like the AC that they get, and then I mean I don't know about the beds because we never really get for a walk inside, but I know they go in kitchen. You know, I know there's I think there's jobs too they do inside. Yeah, they help like clean, right? Like certain people. You know,
they hire certain. I don't even know what they're called, but they hire people to do certain jobs. Clients to do jobs.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, to people who, you know, living in the cars, you know, hopefully they can see kind of like when that tent cities or pu'onuas, I keep calling them tent cities. Pu'onuas is like pretty cherry. Like I mean, for cherry for what it is, you know what I mean. It's not like it's luxury living, but it is pretty solid. You know,
they make it with what they get.
Yeah, you know, and it's a good like. Okay, get back. For me, I would think it would be like a good, get back on my feet. Yeah, you know, at least one step. That's a solid, positive step right there.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah. So, like, so you work with a lot of shelters, homeless shelters.
Yeah.
What would you say, like, is just the nutsest cases that you work with, like, dealing with people? Because I know you must have... I know. You don't need to say names or anything, but, like... Especially on Maui, like just like what would be like the nutsiest cases that people come to you like, you know, this is my situation and
you're just like,
can help me.
Damn.
Like I don't know if I can help you.
So for the most part, like most of the people who have been in the news in the past couple of years, they're probably associated with mental health services.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So that says a lot right there.
Yeah. Anybody who has mental health services who's like been in the news, like we probably worked with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, bro. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so kind of to go back to the homelessness, I remember we was talking about we wanted to do. That's good that you're doing that because we thought we were always talking about like I wonder if there's people that actually go and like try to see what they're up to and help them like instead of just like, you know, trying to
just put them in these tents over here and then okay, you guys good, huh? You guys actually going in there and helping out.
Yeah. That's why we actually talked about doing something like, you know, kind of just taking one mic and on camera and just going over there and just
like
you know,
talk story with people
and just kind of see
let me know.
you know and then get the kind of get
for me I would kind of like see their stories and kind of if they're from here or if they're not from here, like are they being like did they fly in or are they from here, and then like even like if how much kids get like the community.
Is it true that people from like America that they get flown over here for be homeless over here or something like that?
I've heard that multiple times.
Right?
Because the weather probably.
Or people just fly here without any type of plan and they're like, oh, I'm going to come out and live in Hawaii.
And that's not breaking. That's not breaking a law or anything. Or
it's not illegal.
We gotta change. Or like just do something like you cannot just.
Yeah, you cannot just come over here and just, you know, because we're already trying to clean up, but we only can do so much. Right?
I know a lot of shelter programs started implementing some type of like waiting period. So to get into a shelter, you have to have like a verification letter from like a homeless services program. So I know a lot of shelters have started implementing like a wait time between you flying here till them giving you that letter to get into shelter, so they can help, you know, the people that's already here.
I always wondering that. That's like, where they coming from? Are they actually from Maui? Like, are they Hawaiian? Like I always like know that kind of question. I don't know if you know those kind of numbers. That's why I just wanted.
Not a fan.
Yeah, not a fan. Yeah.
But it is a rumor that you've heard before.
Yeah, I have heard that people just fly here. Or are flown here by mainland, wherever they're at. Like, oh, let's buy you a one-way ticket to Hawaii and just send you there.
Yeah, I heard that too. That's nuts.
Yeah. So I mean, other than, you know, talking all business and stuff, you know, how like what's a fun day for you now? Like what you go do now?
I literally work all the time.
Work all the time?
I do. I work at, I also work in a substance abuse treatment facility. We're not inpatient, but we have sober living attached to our program. I work at Mana Recovery Center. We just started up like about a year and a half ago. We currently have 40 beds. So we have like 3 male houses, and we just opened a female house on August 1st. I'm salaried there, so I respond like all the time. Whatever it is. We need to do, I do.
It's kind of like it's almost like a 24-hour thing then, because you never know when something going pop off, huh?
Well, yeah. So we have house managers, and they run the day-to-day clients. They do the transportation and they do the monitoring, but then we need to respond to the house managers. So that's part of what I do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
So.
Yeah, so since we couldn't get any numbers, but would you say, would you deal with men more or ladies more when it comes to mental health cases or when they come to you?
It depends. There's a higher rate of men who are homeless. So we, like in Safe Haven, so we normally have like the ratio of like 4-2. Yeah, 4 males to like 2 females.
Oh, okay.
So I mean,
yeah.
It kind of just depends on the year.
Yeah, there's a lot less females who are homeless than males that come in to get services.
Yeah,
because I would assume it's probably more dangerous for females to be homeless, right? Or I don't know. I'm not speaking off of like.
I would think
females are extremely at risk for harm, sexual assaults, all those kinds of stuff, just because they're females. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Because I definitely see more brothers on the street than I see.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, because I worked for the county park enforcement, and we had to deal with a lot of homeless inside our parks, and it's sad to see like the ones with the kids. That would be the ones that would really hit home.
Of course.
Because you go home to your kid and then you see that, and it's like you like help, but it's hard because they're still with their parents technically. So it's still on their parents for their situations. It's tough, man.
Well, it's not illegal for children to be homeless.
That's right. Yeah.
So children can be homeless as long as they're well taken care of by their parents. We actually had a situation where we was doing outreach last week, and we ran into somebody who had a child, and the child was fine. They were like talking to her, like, "Hi, da da da, I'm so and so," and you could tell that he was well taken care of. By his attitude. So it was really hard to see that, but the child was fine. So we reached out to see to people who do work with children. I did that. Reached out like, "Hey, are you working with this person? Can you go see this family? Yada yada yada." And then Auntie Ina went and like bought him like McDonald's, so he was made sure he was fed that night. He was the cutest kid. She wants to take him home.
I'm pretty sure you're planning
like that. Yeah, you wish you could do so much more.
He's actually the only homeless child I've seen recently.
Yeah,
that's a good thing, man.
But I remember driving down the back Nazca Road, like when it was bad. Well, not bad, but when it was just really crowded. I remember seeing like plenty had choked kids, like just either getting ready for school, brushing their teeth, whatever. And it was just like, hurting, but yeah, I guess they weren't like in bad conditions. Now that I think about it, they were doing what they had to do. The parents was doing what they had to do. So that's a good.
When we were young and we were homeless, living in Lahaina at Pathway Park, my mom made sure we had food. My mom made sure we were in bed, got up for school, yada yada yada. Yeah.
So I guess everybody's that when the first thing that they think of when they hear homeless, they just stereotype like the ones that we see at the harbor. Like, so it's, as you're saying now, it's not all homeless people are like that. You still live. Even though you don't have a house, you still can live good, off of being clean, just handling your hygiene, like just feeding, because that's just like if we was to camp like for a long time, like so pretty much
permanent camping trip.
I guess depending on your situation,
because I've only heard one story talking with a friend of mine that her dad was homeless, but he wasn't like he's like he's homeless, but like he doesn't need to be. Because he has a good job. He a shower that he set up, all that stuff. He just, never like pay rent or something like that. Like to that, I know it's not the exact story, but he never like be in the system, whatever. And then, so she was telling me that, he kind of just wants to be homeless. I was tripping. I was like, what? I never heard of that before. Like, wow.
Yeah, the cost of living, man. Like,
I guess, but like I never thought that somebody would, do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's just the way I think.
There's actually a lot of people who decide to live in their cars because they cannot afford rent, even with like rental assistance from agencies. They only pay for X amount of time, and you need to afford that on your own. So unless you're working like 2 jobs or doing some fraud on the side in Maui, you know what I mean? You can't. It's hard to survive.
It's hard to survive over here. Right, you're right, because you gotta be balling for live in Hawaii.
It's tough, right? Yeah. Let alone if you never go college or in solid job, you never get set up in life with your family, if
you just got dealt a bad hand, you know what I mean.
It's tough,
it's hard to recover in Hawaii. Like I feel like in America, guys, if they're dealt a bad hand, they have so much more resources or things. They can switch on whole state. Where all these guys don't more taxes or something like that, right? Yeah. Versus over here, you grow up like that, you're kind of screwed from the beginning. You gotta kind of like double down on everything that you do,
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is you gotta either step up, or I have 2 kids. I'm a single mom. I work 2 full-time jobs. Yeah. Thank God I'm in a position to where I'm not like, it's not like 8 hours here and then another 8 hours after that. So I'm working like 16 hours a day. I can make my own schedule. Yeah. I have enough experience. I can make my own schedule, and I do outreach. I can work from home if my kids are sick. But it took me a long time to get where I was, So I don't have to like worry about that kind of stuff. But I pay taxes with 2 kids. Yeah. I don't get like any type of EBT. I don't qualify for nothing. Yeah. Yeah. But that's where I want to live here, and so that's what I got to do, because I'm not going to live at the harbor.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So you got to do what you got to do.
Right, and you kind of just sit back and be like, oh man, I wish my life was this way, that way. Because you kind of gotta just. I mean, don't get me wrong. Most of the times that, I never really, what am I trying to say? Like, I never really went through anything crazy like that, like being homeless, or I had family members that have been, but like I was young enough to where old enough to where I could kind of see that, and then my mom and dad kind of explained to me like, hey, auntie and uncle, this and that, and from then I kind of knew like, hey, where I wanted for. Like what I'm going to strive for, like I know I'm not going. I mean,
that's
no disrespect.
The life you want.
No disrespect to them. They did what they had to do, right? I love them till to this day. Yeah. But it's more of I was like, okay, I don't like do that though. I don't like be living like that. Right. I love camping, but not that long. So So I mean,
right. But on a positive note though, when we do talk to like people that have been homeless, before in their life. And to see like if they like you, like how you're doing good, and when they're like to where they are like today, that's good to see. Like
man,
they're come up, just to know like they was homeless, and then now like they're back in it, back in action.
I mean, just looking at what you've been through and all that stuff, was there anything that you could probably think about like, hey, that was one moment where you learned your biggest lesson? Like it could be any lesson, just one. It's a moment that you learn, like, oh shit, thankfully I went through that, because I wouldn't have been, the person I am today. Or is it just the whole thing?
I think one of my biggest moments was when I was a teenager, I was like 18 or 19, and I decided to go into drug court, and I moved home to live in Lahaina, because that's where my mom lived in David Mahalo. And I moved home, and then I was driving back and forth, and I got pulled over, and I flipped the cop off. We had this cop named Hodges who was in a complete in Lahaina when he was growing up. Okay, so I got pulled over, and I flipped him off, and I was like, screw you. He called drug court, and so I had to like move to the homeless shelter in Wailuku. And I was like, oh damn, that shouldn't have happened.
Oh, I kind of fuck up and down.
Yeah.
So they transfer you just because that?
Well, because I didn't have a license, so I wasn't allowed to drive back and forth from Lahaina to Wailuku. So that was like their.
Wait, was he? So was he just like passing you?
No, so I grew up in Lahaina, and all all the cops, you know what I mean? Growing up in Lahaina, the cops know who you are. They used to tell me, EJ, time to go home. No, I'm good, thanks.
No, good, never good.
My mom would like call the cops at me, like, okay, she's at home, as a minor.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I shouldn't have done that.
But on another note, you get plenty tattoos, I see. Like, so did
Therapy.
You get that before you, went the right way, or was it before?
No,
was it during that time?
Well, was it during that time? Or?
No, so all my tattoos are recent, within like the past 5 years, I think.
Because it looks actually all nice. Like it doesn't look like jail tats.
Oh no jail tats. It was my therapy. I was going through a really bad time in my life, And so I didn't just do tattoo therapy. I went to, not treatment, I went to therapy also, like real therapy. So self-care, like working in this field, you got to take care of yourself. So I still go to therapy. I see my therapist twice a month. So, but anyways, back then, like I went to see my psychiatrist. I was struggling. I was having a hard time, like coping. Like, I couldn't manage. Like even my kids were like eating McDonald's every night because that's all they could do. So, trying to be aware, like knowing when you need help. I have Kaiser, so I reached out to Kaiser. I went to a psychiatrist. I got on some like antidepressants and stuff like that. I reached out to a therapist, and I'm started doing therapy. And then tattoo therapy was like my third thing.
Yeah.
Kind of explain it to us. What is that tattoo? That just the pain just makes kind of like natural therapy.
Honestly, most of my tattoos didn't even hurt. That's how in the space
so
that
that's
I was.
where you was in that moment.
At that moment. I don't remember most of my tattoos.
Bro, and that's how you guys straight, bro. Mental strength is something, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because that's, you know
so
what I mean?
I have my left leg, most of it done too. Last year I got a word on my right leg. It says Mispa. It was my mom's favorite saying. It's like right across my shin. That was the worst tattoo I have ever had.
The shin.
Yeah, the shin.
No,
shin.
So my whole left leg, my shin is done.
Oh, bro.
No, yeah.
I only did like a small
mine
piece.
is on my right. Yeah.
No, my shin is done, like from my knee to my ankle. My whole leg is done. That hurt worse because I was in a much better space mentally.
Yeah.
And honestly, the older I get, the worse my tattoos hurt. I'm like, I don't even know if I can do more at this point.
But I mean, that's solid though. Yeah, and everything just like the therapy wise, like who were we talking to Kiahi about it? Didn't we say something about that? Yeah. Like people actually, that the pain is just kind of like helps it like numb something else.
Yeah,
and
because we was talking about the numbing spray. And we're all like that kind of defeats the whole
process.
Kind of like just the whole power.
So I tried the numbing spray. It works for like maybe an hour or two, but after that, when it wears off, it's like worse.
I heard that too from people. I heard that too. Like it gets worse.
Like when you got it before you reapply, it's gonna be like shitty feeling.
Or like when you stop. The next time you take a break and then you go back, man, it's like, it's like
10 regardless, because every time I've ever had to stop during a tattoo, just smoke break or whatever, right when they rip open again after everything just all healed, why am I even doing this?
Well, for me, the only part that hurts is the outline. Really, the shading is fine.
Yeah. Well, I guess.
You're still numb. That's why by then.
I was gonna say that
shading.
I kind of the opposite because when they do the lines, like my adrenaline is going so much that I can't feel it as much. Is when after they start doing the shading, and I'm thinking about what it's doing to my skin, like just in my head, like it's ripping. So I get all into my head. I'm like, this is fucking sore. I'm never doing this again, and then I do it again.
I know.
Right?
I think, but do all your tattoos when you're younger because I had to finish like the back of my leg a couple months ago. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can still sit for tattoo sessions anymore.
The
older you get, it's the worse it is.
Yeah, it's bad when they're just doing the Sharpie and it's like, brah. Look at that. Hold on, I'm gonna be on sore spot. Fuck yeah. Because at one point he was with the Sharpie over here. I'm like, that's kind of like if I'm feeling that.
Just off of the Sharpie.
I don't even remember.
Sharp, bro.
I don't even remember any of this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really? I wish. I remember every tattoo I ever got.
No.
The pain. Huh?
The pain of like, even my first one though was my funniest because like, you don't know what to expect, right? So I'm over there. He's about to go, he's about to start. And then he's like, hey, you ready? Yeah, going. Well, all I heard was, like right into my skin, on my shin. I looked at my dad. He's like, started laughing. I was like, this is dumb.
Once you're committed, we ain't gonna stop.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Once he started, it is what it is. But like, I know guys. I talk to guys, and they're like, oh, bro, or not you, but like some guys they tell you, oh, bro, nah, never really hurt that much. Like you lying. I know it hurts a little.
But yeah, back on topic though.
I forgot.
But yeah, so working in the field that you work in, do you run in or like not run into, but like when people like hit you up like for like kind of support or your help, is it your family like or like that you run into, and how do you kind of deal with that? Like if if it's your family, like,
or even close friends, kind of.
Yeah. Do you like refer them to someone else, or you just take them on, like?
Well, so my my job isn't where I'm direct care, so I connect you to services. So I'm not. So previously, like when I used to work at other places, where like if I was gonna be like your long-term case manager, I wouldn't work with you if I knew you or we were close.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
just
That's what you're doing before.
setting a boundary
Yeah, okay.
because it's uncomfortable when you gotta call somebody who you're close with like on their shit, like, and I think that's one of the biggest barriers to getting treatment is the having to wait for services, because especially if you're using or you have mental health issues, like, okay, it's when I'm ready, this is when I'm ready. You know what I mean? So being able to provide services, if we can, when you're ready, and meet them where they're at, that's a huge thing. Because like if you call me Saturday night and I, you know what I mean, I can't do anything for you till Monday. Come Monday, what are we gonna do? Shit
might change. Yeah.
Right. Shit changes in it.
Yeah, it's like on window. Like you gotta catch them in that window because their headspace is in that like that 2 day like.
It gives them a better chance.
Yeah. Because the first day you're all good, and the next day like, wow, nobody gonna help me. Fuck. And then boom, they start getting into their own head. I feel like, and then they continue to spiral back down. I guess. Right.
And then you missed your shots.
Yeah.
And then it might be another couple months.
Yeah.
Until they decide to.
Till they're ready again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're gonna approach them and be like, "Oh, you gotta be clean," if you're gonna like, so come back when you clean, they'll be, "Oh, I'm not gonna come back." Then.
You know,
if you're not gonna take them like how they are at that moment.
Yeah,
because that might be their lowest, bro. So like,
you don't like them feel any more low.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
unfortunately, is most of the time is when they're downing, and so if you bring them in, and if they can get, we've noticed like at the 2-week period is when people start. They get antsy and they want to like leave and stuff like that. So if we can like get them over like the 2-week hump to like the 3-week hump, then I mean we have a better chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's stuff that we wouldn't have known unless we brought you on. That's
well, I feel like it's good. Yeah, people gonna hear this and they're gonna be like, wow, either they get family members or even if they're one of those people, you know what I mean? Like, this is so awesome that it's even being said right now.
We just opened a female house August 1st. Yeah. So we accept females also now.
Okay. Nice.
We have 3 male houses and 1 female house, and we're opening another house on I think October 1st.
All right. On.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Yeah, Maui, providing over here for the homeless. But yeah, like we were saying, just with the homeless, we wanted to do some kind of outreach, like, whether it be like just, reaching out to them or like just going and like just talking story with them and just filming them, just to show the public, because and nobody like everybody see homeless, they just look the other way or like they don't like talk. Like if we could get one solid interview of them and to see kind of their opinion and what they see every day and kind of how they feel, maybe people wouldn't just be like turn the blind eye. Maybe
they'll kind of look more into help.
Yeah,
and
maybe
resources.
they'll see like
But also, I feel like when people talk about it, talk about stuffs, even we have guests that came on here that when they start just talking, it's like a weight lifted kind of thing, And I feel like if we talk, I'm hoping, if we ever got to interview somebody like a homeless person or whatever, while them talking about what they're doing, what they're going through, and hopefully that can be like them kind of like saying it out loud, help them. Help them kind of like, oh yeah, bro, I'm doing this, I'm doing all this. Maybe I can start doing better. That's what you hope for.
Yeah,
right?
like therapy almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. Because like you said, a lot of our guests that come on here, they hit me up for like a couple weeks after, and they're like, "Bah, it just feels like one weight has been lifted off my shoulder."
Yeah, when you just
especially when they got off, what they really wanted off their heart, to Maui to hear.
Yeah,
and that's the main thing for Real Talk. That's our
main
goal, man.
That's it, man. We're gonna talk real people, real conversations, But yeah, I know you was also with suicide awareness. I wonder if we kind of touched a little bit on that, because I feel like after Lahaina, not to bring Lahaina up again, sorry, but there was a lot of, I've seen in the news like a lot of suicide, like going on, or at least what I saw in the news and like at the hotels even, like that's crazy. So with that, how would what am I trying to say? Like suicide awareness. Like how do you
because you mentioned that you sign waved, or you usually, what were you mentioning about that, the sign waving?
So I am active in the suicide awareness sign waving. So it was started a couple years ago after my friend Kalae lost her son. So she wanted to do something to raise awareness, so like other families didn't have to go through that. So we started sign waving, and we've been sign waving. It's normally done during September, which is Suicide Awareness Month. But then I think it's spring connected with Kane Connections. They're a great program for men. So they, I think they have a meeting. I think it's at Cameron Center on Monday nights. So they do like a support group for men. So have a safe place to talk, how to be a man, like what it means, and all those kinds of stuff. So we connected with Kane Connections and started doing more sign waving, so it's more, there's more exposure. So they do it in Lahaina. They started, I think they have meetings in Lahaina. I'm not exactly sure when it is, but they have meetings in Lahaina also for part of the wildfire victims. But over here, they have it Monday nights at the Cameron Center, but we do the suicide awareness sign waving on the last Friday of every month. So we're in front of Burger King, and we bring whoever wants to come, like Kane Connections come, we try to bring our clients from Mana, whoever is involved comes, and we just wave to people, and we have like all the signs, like if you ever see us come down. We also started a support group, so that's at EL Valley. It's on the second Wednesday of every month, just to have a safe place for people who wanted to talk, because not everybody is at the point where they can be out there and talk about it or sign wave, just have, if you want to have a more intimate, like one-on-one discussion or just be supported by people, we do it at it's called SOS, Survivors of Suicide. It's at EL Valley on like the second Wednesday of every month. We just want to raise awareness because it's happening so often. Like definitely. Unfortunately, it's become like a trend. There's so many people.
It's so sad to say, but so true.
And it's about education, community education. Like teach your friends, teach your family, teach your children, talk about it. I actually went to a training on Kauai in the beginning of June, the crisis intervention team training, and one of the things that I took with me from that was, like, historically people want to be like trauma informed, so we're gonna like try to soften the blow, like, hey, do you want to hurt yourself? That's what we were taught to ask. Do you want to hurt yourself? But now we need to be having those hard conversations, not do you want to hurt yourself, because that can be interpreted as whatever. Do you want to kill yourself? Ask those hard questions, because that gives you a direct, you know what I mean? It's a yes or no. Like if you ask, do you want to hurt yourself? Like, oh yeah, maybe I want to go like whatever it is,
whatever
but
that entails.
It may not actively be suicide. So like if do you want to kill yourself, then you can move on, like if it's a yes or no. Having those hard conversations with everybody.
Oh, that's solid.
That's definitely. That's another topic, suicide awareness, to bring awareness to, because I'm pretty sure we covered it with Colin too, and how the suicides went up, their suicide rates,
That's crazy. I mean, everybody, take care of each other, take care of, everybody's mental state. You never know what somebody going through, so
that's why hopefully
be mindful.
Hopefully just us bringing this kind of podcast and this awareness kind of helps, somebody that's going through that, see this and be like, oh yeah, I'm not the only one that's going through that.
And that's what we want, real talk, real conversations with real people,
Definitely,
But right on.
Other than that, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Killed it, man.
I know you was nervous before, but you did great.
I'm still nervous.
Now, once you settle in, it was cherry.
But
good information, But like I said, we're gonna have all your information, in the description. So if anybody, watching, like that information,
boom, they know how to get you.
And just hit us up. Right?
We'll respond.
Yes. Of course. Okay.
Definitely.
Well, everybody, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Real Talk Maui, we out. Yes, sir.